Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Talking Triathlon podcast where Tim Ford, that's me, talks to James Bale, that's him, all about triathlon. Some say we waffle mindlessly, Jimbo, but
Mindless
of
Waffle.
course not.
That's a few years old, that one, though, mate.
I
I'm
love it.
sure you'd seen that one before. I love that. That's my favorite review on Apple Podcasts of our podcast of all time. The one titled Mindless Waffle, and then a little bit of a blurb about how we spoke about Kristian Blummenfelt in a boring manner and how he will never ever listen again.
Did did you actually, maybe you don't know this about Chris, it's a relatively unknown fact about him, but did you know that he actually won the WTCS World title in 2021?
Fuck no, I did not.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Remarkable. Yeah.
One of his lesser known achievements, apart from everything else that Christian Blummenfelt has won in that incredible, what do you say, Palmeiras that he has? What he's got nine-man world
Palmares.
title, couple of 70.3 world title, Olympic gold, WTCS world title from 2021, T100. Yeah, that WTCS one does tend to fly under the radar a little bit. So we just, I'm doing my part, James,
He's
to
not
educate the
too
listeners.
shabby, is he? He's not too shabby. But whenever we mention him, it is relatively boring.
I know I don't have much to say about Christian except for, yeah, Norwegian bloke, pretty good at swim, bike, run. Yeah. Anyway, mate, what's going on? How are you? What's happening?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I raced last weekend.
I saw this.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. I did the standard distance duathlon at
Overall winner.
Rowford Lake. Hey?
Overall winner too, I believe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, I flatted. I got a flat on the first the bike was 2 laps of 20K. And as I went past, I did my first 20K and I got about a kilometer down the road. I started, when you get that sensation where you're like, oh, that feels odd. And it was a rear flat. So I pulled in, buggered about a little bit, limped my way back to transition and said, look, I've got a rear flat, I'm gonna have to call it. And they were like, well, you might as well do the run anyway, and we'll just remove you from the results. I was like, okay, cool. So then I informed the timekeepers, informed the head ref, went and did my run, came back. They announced me the overall winner of the plus 40 veteran category. I went over and said, no, I didn't win it. I've told everybody, but and then on the results all evening, I was shown as the overall winner until eventually they created a separate subcategory, which was called the hybrid event. And I was the single athlete involved in that, and I won out of a field of one.
Was this event hosted by T100? Because it sounds like the Fraser race where you just like don't do a lap of the bike and it's still considered a full finisher of the race. So maybe that's maybe T100 was looking to get into that duathlon.
Well,
And
it's good fun though, mate. It's good fun not swimming, not having to fuck about in the water and get wet and then take a wetsuit off. Just do a. It was a 10K run. Should have been 40K bike, but I did 20, and then a 5K run. And it makes the whole thing a lot more pleasant, not having to worry about being moist.
I always thought it was the opposite. I always thought you did the short run first, the long run
Yeah, so did
at
I
the
in my
end.
head, but when I got there, it was the 10K first. And mate, they set off those motherfuckers. I was in wave three, no, wave two. I don't know, one of the waves. And I was like, well, I'll just put myself towards the back, and it'll be okay. There'll be people running at a reasonable pace. They all fucked right off, and I was like, well, that's not a pace I want to go at. So I just hunkered in, did my own thing, and I passed about five of them by the time we got. There was only about 15 of us in this wave. Passed about five of them by the time we got to transition, because I think everybody gets a bit enthusiastic at the start of those things, don't they?
I mean, I think I told the story last week about my duathlon where I ran like one of my fastest ever 5Ks at the start. I went, I've made a huge error here, and then just absolutely suffered for the rest of the race. So I
How
think
are you anyway, mate?
I'm okay. I'm just a little bit scarred from that duathlon experience. So I'm hearing you saying it's fun. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't like, it's not a good time for me. I'd rather swim. Thank you very much.
Well, it's been a long day today, and it's getting to that end of the year feeling. So I've racked up a beer for this podcast.
Well, it's probably well, one. I mean, it's a bit flying. We're still over a month out, but we can probably notify everybody what we normally do this time of year. We should get towards the end of the year. I mean, I think we've got Dubai, then we've got the grand final in Qatar, Arizona, and Western Australia, some races, but sort of things will start to quiet down. So what we normally do over the Christmas break is we take 3 or 4 weeks off recording the regular weekly shows, but we do a bunch of bonus episodes. So we release a weekly bonus episode for our patrons. So good time of year if you want to give us a Christmas present this year. I don't know how you want to say it, but if you want to keep the Talking Triathlon content going over Christmas, head to Patreon. You can sign up for 1 month if you like. You get the bonus show. You get all access to all the other. There's probably 20 or 30 bonus shows now at this point. I can't remember. Get all that, and then you can cancel the January and regular episodes return. But
Yeah,
willing
and
to
you
do that.
get a weekly triathlon podcast throughout the quiet season to keep you going.
And what we normally do from memory is we normally pick a topic and we go quite deep into it. Like I think last time we did something that was about sponsorship. I think we did a deep dive into the career of maybe Alistair Brownlee from memory, but we basically ask our patrons, what would you like us to talk about? And then we record, yeah, 30, 45-minute episodes, not quite an hour, I don't think, because we normally do them in one. I remember we do them in like one slog and it's like 3 hours of recording. We get to the end and we're just both like, fucking hell.
We earn our 3 to 4 weeks off, mate, with that
Correct.
single recording session of 4 hours or whatever the hell it is.
But yeah, I'm taking a month off work over Christmas too. So I'm like absolutely like counting down the weeks. I think I go from
Taking
the
a month
20th.
off work.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't taken a
Bloody
proper
hell.
break in ages. So, because we shut down 20th of January, December for Christmas. And then it's my 18th, on the 18th of January, it's my 40th. And I'm going to go to New Zealand, do a race and have a party. So I think like, I'm not going to come back to work for like 2 days and then go away again. So I just spoke to my boss, said, yep, take a month. So,
Nice.
hmm.
40 years old, you old bastard.
Not yet, 39, mate. 39 for at least another 3 months. So thank you very
Yeah.
much. Let's just settle that down. Uh, but yeah, other than that, good running is going well. I've been running really, like doing a lot of good runs lately. And then yesterday I had to do a run that I saw it because I did a like 10 by 3 minute fast on Sunday and actually like crushed it. I think I was really happy. And yesterday was 3 times 15 minutes tempo pace. And I think it was like, don't go faster than 4:20 pace. And on paper, I'm like 3:5:15. That's easy. That's like not even hard running for me anymore. I've been running so much faster than that lately. If I tell you it was one of the hardest run sessions I've done in so long, like, even during the warm up, I don't know if you ever had this where you're warming up and you're just like, what's my heart rate? You stop and you check your heart rate, it's like 130. I'm like, it's not even high, but it feels very high. And the whole run, I just battled. And I think it
Yeah.
was like probably just a bit of fatigue. Probably, they say you can't have every session good. It means you're not trained hard enough. So you need to have the down sessions to show that your body's actually adapted. And that's how I did it. I finished it, but man, it cost me a bit. It was a bit of a slog. But training's going well.
Strange.
Got
At
the
the moment, I don't really have those runs. I'm doing a lot of base running to try and rebuild my fitness and rebuild everything back after my time off ill. But I have those more on the turbo trainer
mm,
sometimes when I'm got a session set in this sort of erg mode realm. And then I'll just find myself go, fucking hell, I cannot maintain this, what it's expecting me to do. And end up having to turn the bias down a little bit sometimes.
erg mode sucks.
Erg mode sucks.
I don't like it. It honestly is. I get this session every every Saturday. Like, I've got it from my coach, and it's like again on paper, it's not that hard, but it's that I don't know. I find anything over 280 watts on the trainer quite. I can hold it. I can hit it easily and stuff, but I can't hold it for like more than 6 minutes. Like anything over 6 minutes at that sort of watts. I don't know whether it's just the erg, but you know how it's like quite dead pedal. I don't know. I can't
Mm.
do it. And I was talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, like the way it always, I swear, even if the erg mode says it's 280 watts, you're pushing more just because of that resistance. It's just not a good time. So, um,
And then
yeah,
you sort of then you start fighting with the cadence and you're like, right, if I spin a bit faster, that's sort of aerobically tiring more so. But if I don't spin faster, then I'm having to put more strength into it, more muscular work, and then you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
the spiral begins and it's all of it. I've
The
done the ramp
spiral
test on the track.
begins.
It's no good.
Yeah.
Look, guys, if you, as we said earlier, if you want to get the bonus shows, we're doing another bonus podcast tomorrow where we're going to talk a lot about the Imogen Simmons case. We're going to go through Nice, probably talk a bit more about 70.3 worlds and a bit more uh, real and raw. Head to patreon.com/talking triathlon. We're literally recording that tomorrow, so it'll be available probably about the same time this comes out. So if you listen now and you want to hear that, yep, that's where you need to go. Jimbo, mate, triathlon time has
But
begun.
also, regarding the Patreon membership, I'm going to be in Marbella all weekend. We've got a group of patrons out there, so we will be having a get together in a bar that I'm yet to decide which bar, but we will be having a get together in a bar probably on the Saturday and the Sunday if anybody fancies it. So if you join the Patreon group, you will get the chance to come and have a beer with us in Marbella if you're out there.
I mean, I'm also going to say if you're not a patron, I reckon people are welcome to join you for a beer as well, mate. You're not
Hell
going to be
yeah.
like, sorry,
Yeah.
get out your phone.
Yeah. Fuck
Patreon.com
no.
forward slash
Yeah.
talking triathlon. Show me, please.
Prove it. Prove it. Bring receipts or I'm fucking you right off.
Yeah, no, no, no. Maybe if they're a patron member, you buy them a beer. If they're not a patron member, they buy you the beer. Maybe that's the system.
Yeah. I
Put that
won't be
Patreon
getting
money to
all
good
that.
use. Well, look, let's get into it this week. Obviously, the big race, which we'll get to at the end, is probably 70.3 of us. But there were some races that happened over the weekend, and I think probably a good place to start is Noosa Triathlon. What do you reckon?
Yeah, mate. Let's talk about Noosa Triathlon. I got confused earlier. I thought it had happened last week and we talked about it already, but we were hyping it up last
It's
episode.
it's true because as we were discussing what I said, I will talk about Noosa Triathlon. He's like, we did that last week. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it happened. He's like, yeah, but we did it last week. I'm like, yes, James, I'm aware.
Yeah.
But the race has now happened, so we can talk about what happened in the race.
Yeah, I was a bit
Um,
confused when you said, but it happened. I was like, I know it happened and we talked about it.
yes. So, firstly, two very, very deserving winners in Matt Hauser and Jess Fullagar. We'll talk about the race itself, but I don't know if you saw this over the week, and I'm probably going to get in a little bit of trouble for saying this or talking about this, but have you seen the controversy online about the Noosa try that happened on social media this week?
I have not.
What is something that what is it? What if I had to explain to you what's an issue that lots of amateurs and long distance pros have with short course triathlon? What's their number one issue? Why they don't think it's as good or as legitimate or as real? Like what's that thing that they love to talk about or put down short course for? Do you know?
I'm probably being in packs on the butt. I mean, the fact that it's draft legal.
Yeah, so Noosa Try is a non-draft Olympic distance, and there was a few bit of footage showing some of the pros maybe a little bit closer than they should be, and yes, people don't like that. So there was a bit of controversy about the groups being a little bit small, a little bit close at
What's the
Noosa Try.
distance in
I don't know,
Noosa?
7 meters, 12 meters. I don't. I think it's seven
Uh,
meters to be honest. I'm not
okay,
sure,
well,
but
if it's 7 meters, then that's smaller than normal. And to the eye, you'd probably think, well, they're a bit
it
shorter
was
than normal. But
It was pretty. They were pretty
oh,
close.
is it really close? Was it?
But I see it. I'm like, eh. Whereas some people get like, yeah. It's like anytime I've ever suggested we did a lot of draft legal Ironman, people get very upset because like the non-draft is really important. But yeah, it
We
was.
do have a very emotional um, ecosystem.
Mm.
It happened to me at the weekend when I started to genuinely panic because I was still shown as winning this fucking race where I'd only won one lap of the bike,
You
and I
can
thought
get out on the.
the community's going to come for me in a minute.
Isn't there that website that finds people who have like cut the course and stuff and
Yeah, yeah,
marathon investigators or something? You would have been a subject. Somebody's probably dobbed you into that. They would have seen it, panicked, and been like, "Excuse me, I think you need to check because I'm pretty sure
yeah.
James Bell only did it."
Actually, he didn't do the full bike.
He did not. He
He
didn't. He
hid in a
did.
hedge.
He did a Tommy Fury. He did a Tommy Fury, and he didn't do one lap of the bike, but he's still considered a finisher. Yeah,
So what you're saying is Hauser was drafting, eh? Is that what you're
pretty
saying?
much. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hauser just coasted in, let that little shitty moustache do the burden of the work for him. That's why I mean, he probably has to because that moustache is so unaero that he had to make up for it, compensate for it with sitting behind someone's wheel. But no, it was to be honest, pack group, big pack off the bike, and then Hauser just ran away from it. But what was very interesting slash exciting about the race was Hauser was out front and sort of looked very early like, oh, it's just shut down. And John Reed, the American, young American, who we have seen do some really, really great stuff, especially at Supertry this year, but a very, very strong runner. Suddenly, mate, starts running. Looks like he's going to catch Hauser. Like I think the gap got down to like 10 or 15 seconds. And Hauser didn't look like, firstly, the broadcast was, I thought, actually pretty good, to be honest. But Hauser was sort of out front. And then suddenly, next minute, there's a camera shot. And John Reed's like 60 meters behind him. Like the gap's very, very close. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, Hauser's not going to win this. Like John Reed is coming so fast. I think he's going to catch Hauser. And he didn't. Hauser, obviously, I think there's a far turnaround, spotted him and picked things up a bit. But it was quite an enthralling race. And I think the fact that Hauser then won the race, as we said last week, the first Australian world champion in 20 years. Noosa is probably
Yeah,
Australia's
yeah.
most iconic race. Like it was I guess that fairy tale, which was pretty great. So Good race from Hauser.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, quite the emotional scenes as he crossed the line as well. It was lovely to see that sort of burst of emotion coming out of him, and and yeah, well deserved. I think he's had a hell of a season, and to go to this race and to win it in the fashion that he did, very well deserved and lovely to see.
Do you have the results? I think it was Hauser first, John Reed second. I can't remember who. Luke Willian might have been third off the top of my head from memory.
I do not
Yeah, you can
have
do
the
that.
results.
Um, yeah, like I said, I think that they did quite a good job of broadcasting. You had Emma Snowsell in commentary. I don't know who the non-triathlon guy was in there with it, but then Ash Gentle jumped into commentary as well, not racing herself. So that dynamic was good. And I mean, there's a few technical problems with cutting to people on the ground didn't work and stuff, but like overall, I was quite impressed with it. In the women's race, it was the opposite. Jess Fullagar absolutely ripped the bike and never
Yeah.
came close
So
to.
Jess Fulgar, Rochelle Hill,
Yep,
Cassandra Brogard in third. In the men's, it was Matt Hauser in first, John Reed in second, and Luke Willen in third.
good, I was right. But Jess Fullagar. So Jess came fifth at the WTCS Grand Final a few weeks. She's one of those up and coming British. Uh, probably one of the. I think probably somebody we're going to start having a talk about already as a potential for LA. I think if you start to look at that British contingent going to LA, you're going to put Jess Fullagar's name in that hat. Always been a very good swim biker, but recently, like I said, with that race in Wollongong, where she ran with that group of five, got fifth, ahead of people like Beth Potter and Cassandra Bergrand, really started to show that run has come along. Mate, she absolutely ripped the bike, like minutes into everyone, and got off and just didn't lose any time. Nobody got close to her. Rochelle Hill, the under 23 world champion from Wollongong, the Australian, second place held on. Cassandra Bergrand got a drafting penalty, sorry, on the bike and managed to run. I think she got off the bike in fifth, maybe fourth or fifth, and then ran herself in a third, but was like literally, you didn't even see her on the broadcast. She was just not,
No, yeah,
not
no.
really.
It was a minute behind Rochelle Hill.
Yeah.
Um, and Jess Fulgar was nigh on 3.5 minutes ahead of Rochelle.
Yeah.
So it was a fairly dominating victory.
And again, I think good to see. She's one of those athletes that came to Australia, has stayed here, did Noosa Tri, won, which is again probably one of the most iconic short course races in the world. And then is going, I think, doing Miyazaki World Cup this weekend in Japan. The other thing about Noosa, though, and this is something that isn't as positive. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but there's also footage of an old guy crossing the finish line having a go at a kid.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, what was that all about? Bit of lair at the end of the race.
Yeah. From
Do we
what
know any details? All I saw was the snapshot where the young lad goes up to the older bloke, and the older bloke loses his shit and starts layering off at him.
from what I've
But the kid
read,
looks like he's about 12, mate.
yeah, he's definitely under 18, like he's a kid. From what I've got told is so the Noosa course is it's pretty hectic. Like they've got the road that have runners going both ways and bikers going both ways on one road, so it's a bit tight. And there's a point as you get towards the finish line where it's very narrow. And what I got told is the kid was trying to pass the guy, and he wasn't really yielding, so he sort of took the inside. Might have, I don't know, maybe brushed him or made the guy not happy, and that's what the sort of blow up was about. But God, not a good look for old mate. So I'm like,
No, really not, is it, mate? For
yeah.
God's sake, wind your neck in, son. Like, what is this? You're out there having a day out doing a sport you enjoy. Simmer the fuck down or go home.
I think it's actually that he saw the pros drafting and he was so angry about that he took his frustration out on another
Yeah,
competitor. He's like,
and
this is
it's
non-drafting.
very um everything's online now, isn't it?
Yeah.
No matter what you
I
do.
just thought it wasn't a good look. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
honestly, mate, it's a kid. Like,
Yeah, just grow up.
yeah, just we're not in directly in front of the finish camera. It's filming
Yeah.
it to everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Well, another thing about Noosa Try as well was it's was Aaron Royle's retirement race, and
Correct.
he
So
finished in
that's
10th. So that was good to see.
let's talk a little bit about Aaron Royle. That's a good segue. Thank you very much, James Bell. Aaron Royle has announced his retirement from triathlon. He is going to, that's not true. from individual triathlon. He will no longer be racing as a professional. He is instead going to be putting his efforts into racing as a guide for the Paralympics. So he races with a blind athlete whose name I don't have at hand, but Aaron's had a great career racing for Australia at the Olympics. I think he's been to two Olympic Games. We've seen him feature a number of T100s, middle distance races. So yeah, I was a bit surprised by this one, to be honest. Aaron's only 35. I thought he probably still had a few more years in him, but when it's time to
Yeah,
throw it up, it's time to throw it up. Fair enough.
35 and retiring in rank 51 in the world. So it wasn't like he wasn't capitulating down the world rankings. Um, and he's still got solid results to him. And challenge 10th in Challenge Roth this year, 13th in San Francisco T100, 6th in 70.3 Geelong. Um, and yeah, that's kind of where he's at. If you look at his results for the last year and a half, then it's sort of 14th, 13th, 11th, 12th, DNF, 7th, 10s. It's sort of top 10 to top 15s in most of his races. So he's still there or thereabouts.
Mm.
But yeah, no, fair play to him. He's brought a lot to the sport, and he's a name that's been around for a fair amount, for a fair while.
Yeah, so congratulations on an incredible career. He hosts a podcast with Jelle Geens, I think, got All In Triathlon off the top of my head. So if you guys want to check that out, that's where you go. But yeah, it does feel a little bit at the moment like there are a fair few pros who are. I mean, it's that time of year, I suppose, as well. But we've seen Braden Curry announce his retirement, and we've got Aaron Royle announce his retirement. I think we're probably going to see a few more by the end of this year as well. So it's it's positive because you get to reflect on their incredible careers, but it's sad that they're not going to be part of the sport racing anymore. So I do always find it a little bit bittersweet. But I think the fact that he's still going to be involved as a guide is a really good and generous thing for him to do. So congratulations, Aaron, on a truly remarkable career.
It just upsets me now that people younger than me are retiring from professional sport.
I mean, it's still hope for you, Jimbo. I mean,
Oh, there's still time.
maybe
There's
one
still
day you can
time,
make
mate.
it. I mean, you did
Yeah.
overall win the duathlon you did over the weekend. So
Andy Horsfall Turner messaged me and said you should change your Instagram handle to undefeated duathlete 2025 and see how many DMs you get off the back of that from people
Mate,
correcting.
yeah, I think so, definitely. Again, I am going to have to get you another tri suit made now. That's going to be not the screaming face anymore, but it'll be like, yeah, big words like or overall duathlon champion or what did you say it was? Hybrid race?
Hybrid, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I said I got a message from Mark Threthel. Is it Threthel? Saying that you can
Sounded
now
like you're
call yourself
sneezing. Have you got
you
something
can
stuck in
call
your throat there, James?
call yourself a hybrid athlete now.
Yeah, mate, there you go. That's what we
There
should
you
be
go.
doing. You
Online
are
trending me, mate.
the hybrid athlete. Next, you're going to be doing high rocks. The other
Fuck
race,
that.
I, you know what? If any video editor Ace, I know you do this. I want you to clip that out, and I want to use that because when he inevitably does a high rocks race, I'm going to use this against him. So, 23:50. Thank you very much. Clip that out, and I'll keep that in the back pocket for.
The sound of inevitability, that.
I've got a few little clips of you that I've like cut out of episodes that I just randomly. There's one in particular I know you know which one I'm talking about that I still love to sometimes send you. Another race happened over the weekend that I don't have a lot to talk about, but I thought we should touch on. Langkawi 70.3 happened over the weekend. Again, not heaps to say, just wanted to go through the results because it happened. Uh, very hot race in Malaysia with, to be honest, a pretty decent field for a race a weekend before 70.3 Worlds. Now, while I'm talking, I'm hoping you can get the results up for me because
Fuck no. But I'll
you'll,
see what I
you'll
can do.
so some interesting things about this race in particular was Julie Darren led the women's race. And then in the men's race, you had my mate Tyler Mislachuk doing his second 70.3 for the year. But he also had a few WTS athletes who, again, had been in Wollongong, had gone up there to do the race. Also saw Fenella Langridge racing, Natalie Van Coverden racing the women's race. In the men's race, Josh Ferris won. There was a Danishman in second, and I'm hoping that you can get his name up for me while I'm speaking and stalling. And then in third
I
place,
am frantically looking for the results.
okay, Ironman Tracker app is always a pretty good safe place to do it.
Okay. No, no. On the women's front, the Julie Darren won it ahead of Natalie Van Gorveden, ahead of Justine Gurard ahead of Fenella Langridge in fourth. On the men's side of things, it was Josh Ferris in first, with Jens Emil Nielsen in second, Tyler Mislachuk in third, Josh Amberger in fourth.
Yeah. So crazy to this race wasn't on the well, it wasn't broadcast obviously, but it was on the tracker. And a lot of the athletes didn't appear, so watching it was interesting. Josh Ferris got off the bike with a 7 minute lead, mate. Like absolutely crazy. He put more time into Josh Amberger in Langkawi than Hayden Wild put into Josh Amberger in Wollongong T100. So shows how strong that guy is on the bike. And then
Yeah,
just
really
was never in
powerhouse, eh?
doubt. Yeah, powerhouse. I mean, again,
How
it's
did
the sort
Tyler
of
get on?
ride. Tyler crashed at like 50K of the bike.
Honestly.
So lost a bit of time there, but ran himself back onto podium. So yeah, good. Probably not quite the result we expected, but again, to have a bad race and still get a podium, I think is good for Tyler. I think he's getting close to got sick after the race. So I think we might see him shut things down for the rest of the year, get ready for next year, or he's starting to discuss some events for him for next year. And then Julie Darren, the women's race, just dominated. Natalie Van Couveren in second,
Yeah,
who's a great athlete.
Julie Darren got the fastest swim, fastest bike, fastest run. So it was a clean sweep domination for her. Um, and yeah, Natalie Van Gorderen in second, third fastest swim, sixth fastest bike, third fastest run. But putting it together to lacing that together to get an overall second place.
Mm. In like 40-degree weather. Like it's so hot in
Yeah, no,
Langkawi.
no, I'm not up for it. I'm not up for it, mate.
I
Don't
like
do it.
racing in Asia. I obviously need to acclimate to it, but I've always really enjoyed racing in Asia because it just adds another element of like nobody runs fast, so that's kind of nice for me because I'm a shit runner. So
Ah, mate, I'm just in my element if it's shitting it down and windy and rainy and full of potholes and puddles.
nah,
I
it's not
was
my.
um I was passing a lot of people on Sunday on T who were on TT bikes, and I was just devoning along on my road bike. It was great fun. It
I did.
hailed at one point. Fucking hailstorm. Soak that shit up, mate.
You are like again. I just why do you live there? Like there's Australia exists, mate. Like just we speak the same
I'm
language.
not sure
Culturally,
Australia would
we're very
have me. I
similar.
don't think I've got any key skills that you need.
You're British. Like that's all I seem to care about these days. Just like, yeah, I'm British. I want to come down. I think you guys can do it, can't you? I think we have some agreement with the UK that Brits can just come here if they want. I don't know.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, again, I don't understand why people choose to live in the UK, considering the weather is absolutely awful.
The
We're not
green
having
and
weather
pleasant
chat.
land.
We're not having weather chat. We're moving on from that. We are obviously now going to turn our attention to the big event this weekend. The last truly big race. I mean, there are other big races, but this is the last. I can't say that actually. The second last World Championship race for this year. 70.3 Worlds is happening in Marbella this weekend. James Bell, you are going to be in Marbella, our man on the ground. Obviously, there you're going to be interviewing all the pros. I heard you actually got a media pass, James. So, if people have any questions that they'd like James to ask at the press conference, please send them through to us. He will make sure, James Bell, Talking Triathlon. Question for you, Kristian Blummenfelt. What year did you win a WTCS World title? Uh,
I won't be there in time for the press conference. I'll be arriving late Friday night. I'll probably get to my hotel about midnight on Friday night. So I'll be up bright and early for the swim start on the Saturday because the women's race takes place on Saturday, the 8th of November, starting at 7:50 local time, which is 6:50 in the UK. So for those of you listening in the UK, you're up bright and early watching that. I will be down at the swim start watching that happen. And then on the Sunday, the men's race starts at the same time, but it's the corresponding day. So it's going to be 2 solid days of racing. I really like the fact that they split it so you get the men and the women get their own days. And I think it's going to be really good fun. It looks beautiful out there. The weather looks pretty rubbish today, but it's looking good for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's looking hot.
Sounds like, again, weather chat straight into it. I love it. Have you been to Marbella before? It's meant to be a very nice part of the world.
No, I've not been to Marbella. I spent quite a bit of time in that part of the world, but I've never made it to Marbella or Banus.
Banyoles?
No, anyway, I haven't been there. I've been to Cadiz and Seville and all that. I've spent quite a bit of time down there.
I've never. The closest I've been to Barcelona and Girona. They're the only places I've been in Spain. Uh, I liked it. Okay, start list. We'll start with the women's race because that goes on Saturday. And again, thank you to Tripole Athlete doing the Lord's work. I keep giving them praise.
I like the little
Yeah.
purple dots. I like the little purple dots that they've added now.
Do you know what they are though? Because it says new update. Is that a change?
Uh, just means that I think it just means focus your attention there because something has changed.
Okay.
I love it. I'm
So
here for it. Too
yeah,
much red though. Too much
head to.
red. Not liking all the red. I
I'm
keep
trying to give him a
interrupting
plug.
you.
I'm trying to
Head
give him a
where?
plug. You can give him a plug. What should people do with Tripole Athlete, James?
Go to Tripole Athlete on Instagram. It's at Tripole Athlete. Check out their never-ending updates for start lists and all that. It's really, really useful,
Yeah, give him a follow.
especially if you do what we do.
The women's race, you are correct. There is a lot of red on this start list, unfortunately, and that's something I think we're going to talk about on our bonus episode tomorrow. But the names in green for now, we have Milan Agnew, Sif Bendix Madsen, Lisa Baccaris, Rachel Brown, Marlene de Boer, Hannah DeVet, Nina Darren, Paula Finlay, Regan Hollyoak, Laura Jensen, Solveig Loveseth, Jess Learmonth, India Lee, Daniela Lewis, Kat Matthews, Megan McDonald, Taylor Knibb, I know is there. I've heard that Lucy Charles is there as well. Marjolaine Pierre is there. Caroline Pole, Lizzie Rayner. Anybody else? Georgia Taylor Brown, Grace Thick, Nicole Vanderkay. Yeah, mate. Some pretty good names there.
Yeah, it's a great start list. We've got Lucy Charles-Barclay's been confirmed that she's there
Okay.
now as well. She's put a picture on socials of her and her bike in Marbella, so she'll be racing. Um, it's going to be a really interesting race the way it shapes up at the front. Obviously, you've got Lucy Charles-Barclay, you've got Taylor Knibb, you've got Kat Matthews. I mean, these are key names who are going to help shape this race as it unfolds. But you've got other athletes on there as well who are going to have a part to play, and Georgia Taylor Brown is going up through the gears when it comes to this kind of distance, and watching her come to terms with it is awesome, and she could very much be part of this race. Um, yeah, there's plenty there, mate.
I feel like the biggest factor with this event that's going to make it like not as obvious about what's going to happen is the bike course. So
Oh
for
yeah,
people who aren't familiar, 1,850 meters of climbing across 90 kilometers. It's crazy, mate. Like it's so good. It's such a tough, like it's a lot of climbing in 90 kilometers, and I think that's going to really be such a huge factor. I feel like we're probably going to see some pretty significant gaps in this race. And then the other big question mark is going to be over two athletes in particular, or to be honest, probably four athletes in particular, is going to be the effect of Kona. So Taylor Knibb and Lucy Charles-Barclay both DNF'd because of heat and heat issues in Kona. So we know that that can have very, very long lasting, long term effects. So where are they at? How have they recovered? How have they bounced back? Are they okay? But then you've also got Kat Matthews and Sobai Loveseth who won that race and came second at that race. Kat dug incredibly deeply to try to win that race. What's that cost her? And then Solveig Loveseth, who won the race, what's that cost her? So for me, those four, which are sort of the obvious, we'll talk about Georgia in a bit, but those four are like the obvious starting points. There's just a lot of uncertainty, right? Like I'm actually really unconfident necessarily picking any of those four just because we haven't seen any of them since
no,
Hawaii, really.
yeah, and the heat isn't going to play a huge part here. It's
No.
going to be sunny, but it's going to be 21, 22 degrees with a little bit of wind, but not much. So it's not gonna we're not gonna simulate the same conditions that we found in Kona where people start getting really impacted by the heat. It's gonna be, like you say, the recovery from how deep they dug in that moment and how well they've managed to recover and get back to some semblance of normality before this gun goes off. And yeah, I think you're quite right. I think we're gonna have a fastish swim because it's gonna be a flat Mediterranean Sea, hopefully. Um, And then it's going to be a case of a very, very hilly bike course where it's going to be very different to Kona. You've got a punchy kind of um, climbers course almost, not too climby, but punchy. And
Mm.
and that's going to have a very different impact on the legs because you could have people attacking off the front and trying to use that course to their advantage to get a gap going onto the run. And I'm here for that, mate. I really am.
Well, from what you're saying, I think we are going to sort of see is looking at the names on this list. I think you are going to see a fair few athletes at the front together because there's a lot of swim power, but you've got a lot of very good swim bikers. I think is the sort of like again sort of similar to Kona. I think you're going to see Kat Matthews get out of the water with a bit of a gap, but it's not just going to be like Lucy Charles at the front base. So if you've got Lucy Charles, you've got Jess Lemont, you've got India Lee, you've got Lizzie Rayner, you've got Taylor Knibb, you've got this front group of women who are Georgia Taylor Brown, these very good swim bikers who I think are going to go. And I feel like that's automatically going to put the pressure on Kat, who's also, don't forget, leading the series, the Ironman Pro Series. And this is the last race in that as well. So I feel like it's going to be this, yeah, like what impact is that bike and those dynamics of those people all probably now realizing, not that they haven't in the past, but you can't give Kat Matthews an inch or she's gonna
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
The camera just
You
freaked out.
need a gap on
Yeah.
someone who can run like that. And if on form going into this race, you would be thinking, right, fuck me, she can close down the biggest of gaps. So we really need to put the pressure on. And this is a course where if you do get a gap on the bike, you could almost out of sight, out of mind it because it's not going to be as obvious where people are on the course.
I think that's what Taylor Knibb's going to do, to be honest. I think we're going to see Taylor absolutely rip this. There's always a bit of a question mark over Taylor Knibb's handling. And I'm not sure, is it technical? Are the descents and stuff quite technical or is it relatively straightforward? Have you looked at the course? I don't know.
I haven't looked at it in that much
Okay.
detail. I don't know. I don't think we've got anything too technical there.
The other one though is, so, I mean, I see Taylor Knibb just taking this run, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Taylor Knibb like what she did in Topol last year, substantial gap off the bike. The gap starts to close. The only person I think on that group that we've spoken about so far that doesn't need to worry about a Kat Matthews running from behind if they're in shape is Lucy Charles-Barclay. I think that she is as good a runner or comparatively good to Kat. Again, depending on what form she's in. But the athlete for me that is, and I'm probably a cracked record at this point, that I'm very interested to see what they do on Saturday is Georgia Taylor Brown. And I know
100%, yeah.
I've said this a lot, and we've seen her sort of, yeah, she took this as the break at the start of the year, and she's been okay. But we saw in Frejus, for example, her run, she faded. I think the reason I'm now extremely interested to see is she had that huge block of racing. And yes, she didn't focus on triathlon at the start of the year, but she's now been back in the sport for months. And I'm curious to see what that huge block of 7 races in 7 weeks or whatever crazy thing she did it was, what impact that's had on her fitness. Because it is a very, a lot of people can race their way back to fitness. And I feel like that huge block with a bit of recovery and now focusing on this race, I know for a fact that she's quite focused on this event. What's it going to mean for her? She's such a good swim biker. Like she's a very well-rounded athlete. We've seen a bit of a weakness in her run recently, but I'm imagining that's going to be rectified. She could be very dangerous. The other one that we haven't spoke about too much, but is just one of those athletes that, and it's probably my short course bias, is Nicole van der Kay.
Mm.
Nicole is a very strong short course athlete that I've always sort of expected to adapt better to probably like a Jess Fullagar, which we saw in Noosa. I think that Nicole is an athlete I've expected to see do quite well at non-draft middle distance racing. And I believe has been in Spain for a while preparing, or at least in Europe preparing for this for a while now. So she's another like one to watch for me, sort of outside the whatever. Anyone else like outside the favorites you think are worth mentioning?
Yeah, I mean, she's in the favorite category though, isn't she? But um, I think Jess Learmonth is
Mm.
one 100% worth watching. She's hell of a swimmer, hell of a biker. She's shown that she has been dealing with that calf injury as the season's got better, and it's been getting better, and her results in the T100 have been improving, and we've seen her going up through the gears as she gets comes to term with that injury, and if she's on form and firing and has really got a handle on that, then she will be in the front coming out the water. She's a hell of a biker. She's got the opportunity to take advantage of this bike course and then be there or thereabouts on the run. And if she can build a lead on the bike, and it's all to play for.
One person again we haven't spoken about and didn't really feature in Kona the way at least I expected them to was Marjolaine Pierre as well. Marjolaine's had a relatively quiet year this year after her great finish in Nice last year at the World Champs. She's sort of flown under the radar. She trains with Reece Barclay, so she's done a lot of stuff with Lucy as well. So I would expect that she's in pretty good shape. And I know from the posts and everything that she just wasn't able to give the result she was thought she was due or able to in Kona. Very soft run for Marjolaine in Kona. Like I'm not sure it was easy, but it looks like it wasn't as hard a run as she's capable of. So I imagine this is her opportunity to maybe show that fitness too. So I think she's another person that we could see do something quite special. She lives in Nice, is used to the hills on the bike. It's not a super long travel to get from Nice to Marbella, I don't believe. Like not like it is for
Mm.
some people come from Australia or whatever. So Marjolaine's another one
I
that I
think
think is
Paula
worth
Finley would
looking
be
for.
worth watching as well.
Haven't even spoke about Paula Finn. That's actually crazy that we haven't spoke about Paula Finn. You're
Mm.
right. You're exactly right. Actually, she's got a bike specific coach, so she's very very strong on the bike.
Yeah.
Very good on the run as well. Like she's a very well rounded athlete. Yeah, Paula
And when
Finlay,
she's
another
on
one.
when she's on one of her days, mate,
Mm.
she's unstoppable almost.
Yeah, and hasn't had the year that some of these others have had. Like,
Exactly.
oh yeah, Paula Finlay's a good shout, mate. What about India Lee?
Yeah, India has had the season though, hasn't she? She's done a
Mm.
lot of racing this year. And she's coming off Kona as well, and her Kona didn't quite go the way that she'd hoped. Um, so yeah, I think she's one of those athletes who kind of like Paula Finley when she's on a day, she's relatively unstoppable. But I think unlike Paula, India has got quite a bit of accumulated fatigue going into this race. So yeah, I don't know. I'd love to see her do well, obviously. Huge fan, but you know,
Well,
I don't see it.
yeah, no, fair enough. There's a lot of quality in this field, and I think it's just she's going to be one of many very good athletes. She's India for me is an athlete capable of a podium. I probably wouldn't pick her for my win, but again, if she won, I wouldn't be like this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened. But that's I could probably say that about 10 athletes in this race as well. Picks time. Do we want to do five or three? What do you want to do?
Are we going to be picking a winner, or are
We're
we
gonna
picking a selection of athletes?
nah winner. We're gonna pick up. I think we do three, top three, starting in
All
third
right,
place. So come on, mate, let's do it. Who do you pick for third place?
Cat Matthews.
That's who I was gonna pick for third place. I will do differently to you then. I am going to pick for third place Georgia Taylor Brown.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Solid pick.
Second
You've
place.
got to go first on the second one.
Second place for me is Lucy Charles-Barclay.
Yeah, annoying. I was going to pick her. I don't feel I can now though, so I will pick Georgia Taylor Brown.
Okay. And for the
That
win,
fucks up though. That fucks up my entire plan. No, no, Lucy Charles-Barclay for second. I'm gonna have to just copy you.
I'll go first for the winners then as well. I'm picking Taylor Knibb
No,
for the
no,
win,
I'm
mate.
going first on the winners, and
Feature. I
it's
already did it.
Taylor
It's on
Knibb.
the record now. Yeah. I feel like she's gonna have a pretty big gap on the off the bike and then just hold on. Like, very similar to what we saw in Topor. I think she put that crazy gap in everybody in like the last 10K in New Zealand last year. Um, she's won how many of these titles at this point? She's very good at
Yeah,
this distance. It's a very
yeah,
biker
yeah.
course. She's a very strong cyclist. I think Kat's going
Yeah,
to close.
she'll be there on the bike. So sorry, there on the swim. Going into the bike, she'll be able to use this course to her advantage, and I think she'll be able to make it to the end this time.
So there we go. So we both have Taylor Knibb, we both have Lucy Charles. You have Kat, I have Georgia. So we're close. We're close.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, I see the gap being bigger relatively. So I don't see Cat closing quite as fast as she did, but also I don't see the blow ups that we saw in Kona, which kind
I
of
think
allowed that to happen.
I've always seen Kat's strength is that she doesn't slow down. She's very consistent with her pace. And I just feel like 21K isn't going to be enough. I feel like she's just going to run out of road. She will be getting there, getting there, getting there, getting there. But I just think that if it was an Ironman, I think it'd be a different case. But yeah. One other thing that we picked is one wild card that could win the whole thing that isn't in our top three. Who's your wild card pick?
My wild card pick, Jess Learmonth.
Cat Matthews.
Oh, you didn't have her in your top three.
Didn't ever in my top three.
That's not a wild card pick, mate.
Okay,
Fuck
I'll go
off.
Nicole Vanderkay. Nicole Vanderkay for me then.
Okay. All right. Um, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I would say athletes to watch for me. Outside of that would be Paula Finley. Um,
Lizzie Rayner too, actually. I think
I
that
think
Lizzie
Lizzie
Rayner,
Rayner, you know, could
very
have a
strong
really,
swim
really
biker.
solid
I was
race here.
actually, I was
Very
telling
good
James this
swimmer.
before we hit record. Like she's really strong swim biker. And, yeah, really got a good chance at a top five finish, I think. So
I hadn't even thought about it, mate. Thanks for
I
bringing
know
that to my attention. I appreciate it.
the things I do for you, mate. The things I do for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, let's talk about the men's race. Now I've got the start list here. Give me 1 second. I'll bring it up. There's less green in the men's race, mate. Sorry, less red in the. There's still plenty of red, but there's less. Okay, names to note that are racing: Jake Birtwistle, Panagiotis Bitados, Kristian Blummenfelt, Rico Bogan, Anthony Costes, Magnus Ditlev, Andreas Streitz, Mark Dubrick, Jelle Geens, Christian Hogenhag, Miguel Hidalgo, Willem Hirsch, Emil Holm, Andy Horsfall Turner, Gustav Iden, Robert Callan, Ben Canute, Jackson Laundry, Vincent Louis, Cameron Main, Matisse Magerier, Kevin McDowell, Jared Osborne, who else? Taylor Reid, Jamie Riddle, Seth Ryder, Jonas Schomburg, Kasper Stepaniak, Kasper Stornes, Colin Zuch, Rudy Von Berg, Sebastian Wernerson, Jason West. There's some pretty good names on that start list, mate. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very exciting men's race as well, mate. There's less red on this list, it appears, than
Hmm.
on the women's. Um, so we've got more athletes, more of the names we know racing, which is cool. I I think the toughness of this course is going to make this quite attritional because I think you're going to see a lot of attacking on the bike, kind of like we did in Nice. And then you're going to have that Nice Ironman, but 70.3 distance slog fest on the run. And yeah, I think things could get quite exciting.
It's much more challenging for me to sort of understand what's going to happen here than it is in the women's because I think there's the core group of people that most people will talk about, but I feel like there's enough I'm going to say outsiders that I also actually think could win the race, like legitimately. The first obvious outsider choice for me being Miguel Hidalgo. I think
I
he's a
was about to
guy.
say the same thing.
I also think I don't think I said his name, but I believe he's racing Alessio Crociani. I think is he on the start list? I thought he was. Yeah, he's there as well. So the Italian, he came second at the grand final, WTCS grand final, has been very good at 70.3. Could win the whole thing, to be honest. The obvious ones: Christian Blummenfelt, Gustav Iden, Kasper Stornes. Uh, who else is there? That's like the obvious. Rico Bogan,
Bogan,
Kasper. Yeah, I said Kasper Stornes.
Ditlev's
General
there. I
Ditlev's there, of
mean,
course.
you know, he's a hell of an athlete. Whether he hasn't been firing quite as he normally does this year, and it is 70.3 rather than an Ironman distance, but you never know. He is a hell of a biker, as he does like to tell me. Um, Emil Holm, mate, our man in
The Dane,
Amsterdam.
the Dane, the Great Dane himself. Yeah, look, I'm actually sort of I don't know what's going to happen here. Like there's definitely
Oh,
some crazy like Jamie Riddle. I think we're going to see rip the swim. Taylor Reid will be at the front of the swim. Rico Bergen will be at the front of the swim. Rico Bergen's going to absolutely rip the bike. Like, the days of Magnus Dittler being the strongest cyclist in the field are gone. I think there's multiple people in this field that are stronger cyclists than Magnus. Magnus has become much more of a well-rounded athlete. I mean, Mark Dubrick will be at the front of the swim. Yeah, I genuinely don't know what's going to happen here, to be honest. Like, I'm looking at this going, fucking hell. I'm speechless a little bit.
yeah, I saw some quotes from Kristian Blummenfelt though, and he said when we saw over 17,000 meters of elevation, we were imagining it would be one big climb and down again, but it's one medium climb and then rolling hills. He said it's a bit like St. George. Um, he said the downhill was on such a wide road, we decided it wasn't really necessary to go there again, although we did tick it off one more time. Hopefully, I can stay in touch like Nice on the bike and be quite aggressive on the first climb, then use the second half of the bike to control the race. So that's how he's approaching it. Um, and Gustav said mentally it's nice to know where to push and where not to push. This is doing a reconnaissance and a
Hmm.
general feeling of the course. The downhill's pretty chill. It's very different to the technical nature of Nice. So you haven't got that technical downhill sections like you've got in Nice, but you've got
Okay.
wider, easier downhills. Um, Blumenfeld will be attempting to control the race from the front on the bike. It's whether or not he can get to the
Can't.
end without cramping.
He can't. I'm sorry. I love you, Christian, and I know you listen. I don't think you're controlling the front of the bike in this race because I'm going to throw a few names in there. Two in particular, uh, Jamie Riddle and Rico Bogan. I think those two guys are gonna fucking rip it. Especially Rico. Rico knows he cannot win this race if he gets off the bike with those guys. Sorry, Rico. I love you, mate. But there's too much run pedigree in the rest of the field, and we have seen a huge issue with him overbiking and struggling in the run this year. You ain't going to be able to coast this bike because there's going to be people. So he is going to play his card, which is his bike. He's the strongest cyclist in this field, I think, and he's going to need a gap. An athlete that I think we're not that actually could do kind of well, and it's only because of the nature of this course that we've not mentioned yet, is Vincent Louis. We've seen Vince struggle at T100 this year. 70.3 has a shorter draft distance, but the elevation means that the gaps, like it's not going to be so much dependent on like pace lines. And Vince is a very small guy. So I think Vincent Louis could do pretty well here too. But I feel like it's going to be those two at the front, see what a big gap they have, and then see how far behind the group that's going to have Christian, it's going to have Gustav, it's going to have a lot of those other guys, and see what the gaps are, and then see who can run the fastest half marathon to win the
Mm.
race. Is how I see this happening. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I hope that we see someone like Jelle Geens in touch
Hmm.
enough to bring his run to bear. I want to see I want to see him in the game. You know what I mean? I want to see him in a place where he gets off the bike and we're like, okay, can Yella be part of this? I don't want to see a group of people so far ahead that it kind of negates the rest of the race for everyone else.
I don't think we'll see that, to be honest. I don't think, while I said that Rico and Jamie, and to be honest, somebody like Andy Horsford Turner as well, will be right at the front as well. I don't think that they're able to gap the rest of the field. Like they're stronger, but as I said, you've got a Magnus, you've got a Christian, you've got a Gustav. Yellow's no slouch on the bike either. I feel like there's going to be a gap, but it's not going to be big enough. And I think somebody like Rico is probably going to burn too many matches trying to get that gap to really feature on the run. I feel like we could sort of see something similar to last year where some like Yellow Gaines just runs and maybe a Christian goes off fast early and he brings it back towards the end. We've not really seen these guys race each other too much this year because Yellow Gaines has been doing more of the T100. I don't know what's going to happen here. I think the easy bet is to say somebody like Christian's probably going to win it just because, I mean, chances are a race that Christian's in he's gonna win. But I'm not so sure. There's something about this course that just makes me a little bit hesitant around Christian. And then I keep looking at Hidalgo and Crociani and just thinking, particularly Miguel Hidalgo, to be honest, there's something about him that just gets me. I don't know, like it's like like a stone in my shoe. I can't not think about him. I Yeah, mate. We're not doing a very good job of previewing this because I just genuinely don't know what's going to happen here.
No, I mean, I would like to see Casper Stornes win it.
Do the double.
Yeah, do the double. It would be a really nice way to round off the year. And I don't think we can underestimate him.
No,
Um, this is a very, I mean, I know that they said it's not a Nice light bike course, but it kind of is in the sense that it's going to be a similar kind of temperature. It's going to be
it was pretty
a
hot in Nice.
fastish, hey?
It was pretty hot in Nice, to be honest.
Yeah, that's similar-ish though, isn't it?
Okay,
20 something.
okay.
Um, it's going to be a fastest swim and then a an undulating bike and then a flattish run. So I think, we'd be fools not to look at what happened in Nice and not think, well, that could happen again. I would
But
be, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kristian cramping his way across the line again. You
but it
know,
doesn't
I
seem to happen.
wouldn't be surprised to see Gustav not quite making it again.
See, I feel if Nice was 21K instead of 42, they would have won the thing. Though that's the thing. Like they struggled very much at the back end of that marathon,
That is
and
true as well.
that's like my because I hear what you're saying. I'm like, yes, I think you're right, but I just feel like it's less. So I think again, Casper will probably be as consistent as yours. And I think it's that race that what did him and Christian do? They did a 70.3 this year. Was it Aix-en-Provence? One of the Pro Series races they did, and they were actually ding dong in on the run, like pretty much the whole way. And Christian got a bit of a gap towards the end. So Casper is absolutely capable of running with Christian, and we know Gustav's run seems to be back, at least for Ironman. But from all reports, he's running quite well as well. No, I think, yeah, I think for Casper Stornes, yeah, he's just not going to have enough road, maybe, or not enough opportunity for the others to sort of falter the way they did. He was so consistent. So I don't know. We got to pick a podium, mate. We got to do this. This is going to be hard. This is going to be really
It
hard,
is
actually.
hard. Um, it is hard. There are many, many different ways this could shake out. And there are ways that I would quite like it. I'm tempted to go with what I'd like to see rather than what I think on the face of it might be the obvious answer.
Hmm.
You know, the obvious answer for me is that we see another Norwegian 1, 2, 3 in some order.
Yep.
That's just, we'd be fools not to think that might happen.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
But then there's the big part of me that's like, well, I'd really like to see Jelle Geens have a day here and take the win.
Do you know who we
Or
haven't
something
mentioned?
else or Rigo Pay.
Do you know who we haven't mentioned at all, actually? I'm a bit embarrassed that we have not said his name until I'm about to say it right now. Is Jonah Schomburg.
Fuck yeah. Oh, mate. Oh, how happy would I be?
Like, like legitimately, front pack swim. He will be there with Rico and Jamie on the bike. The difference is I actually think that he can probably run relatively well off the bike. Fuck, imagine if it was Jonas. Like, actually
That would
imagine if
be
it was
that would
Jonas
be
Schomburg.
banging, wouldn't it? That would be banging.
We hadn't
I'd
even
love to
mentioned
see
him.
that.
This, mate, I honestly don't know what's going to happen here. So, uh, okay, I don't know who I'm going to pick. Do you want to go first? Do you want to pick your third place?
My
Fuck.
third place athlete,
Mm-hmm.
Kristian Blummenfelt.
My third place athlete is Miguel Hidalgo.
Okay, interesting.
I just need to get it. I'm not gonna follow my gut and pick him for the win. I'm just gonna say podium. It's safe. I'll be happy. Good luck, Miguel. I think he could win it. I don't know why it's a gut feeling.
Second place?
Is that me?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Christian Blumenfeld.
Casper Storner.
Okay, I think we're both gonna pick the same winner.
Probably.
Yellow Gaines.
Oh, Gustav.
Oh shit. Okay, wow. Did you pick an all Norwegian? Was that Norway,
Yeah,
Norway,
that's
Norway?
that's
Okay.
my all Norwegian podium, and that's the order I'm going for.
I could pick four different top threes to be honest, because I could see
Yeah, I
Jonas
know. I
Schomburg.
agree. I agree.
I could see. Mate, I could honestly, this has been very hard. This is one of the hardest race previews I've had to do, to be honest, because yeah, I'm like talking about this with you has got me a lot more excited for 70.3 Worlds this weekend. That men's race is actually going to be fascinating. Like, and that's the
It
right.
really
It's
is.
going to be
It's very difficult to
fascinating.
pick. There are many different ways this could shake out, and there are a number of names on there that could take the win, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm, and
But then I always hope for a surprise as well. I hope to see somebody win it.
Jonas,
Yeah, like
Jonas.
Joe. Oh, fucking hell! How awesome would it be to see Jonas Schomburg um,
I
take
wouldn't
a
be
win?
surprised, mate. Actually, I'm part of me is thinking I should pick him for the win. Oh, nah, Jonas. I think yeah, I really he's my
He's
wild
gonna
card
be
pick.
in my fantasy top five when I pick that later this evening.
Definitely. Jimbo, who's your wild card pick? And then we're wrapping it up.
My wildcard pick is Jonas Schomburg.
The same. Okay, cool. Cool, 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 cool. Jimbo, we've done it. We got through it. Guys, let us know on YouTube if you're watching below. I'm pointing down who your picks are, or if you're also struggling to understand or predict how this race is going to go. But Jimbo, otherwise, if they want to find out more about Talking Triathlon, where do they need to go?
If you want to support the show, jump on at patreon.com/talking triathlon. If you want to follow Tim, is at T414 on Insta, and I'm at bale.james85 on Instagram. We're on Instagram as at Talking Triathlon. If you join the Patreon group, we get access to the monthly bonus episodes. The social group will put you in the WhatsApp group, which will be on fire this weekend. There'll also be a Patreon meetup in Marbella across the weekend and an opportunity to catch up with people in person. Um, and nice. Love it. Love to see it. And if you're not a member of the Patreon group, but you want to get in touch, then leave a comment on the YouTube channel. That is the best way to do it. And there's been some really interesting conversations this week. I love the hat, man.
Yeah, James just laughed because one of our patrons, Sean Green, gave me a Toronto Blue Jays baseball cap when he was in Australia, and he's given me shit that I haven't worn on the podcast. So, Sean, I know you are listening. If you head to YouTube, you'll see that I'm now wearing the Blue Jays. Go Blue Jays. Jimbo, mate, a pleasure as always. Guys, we hope you enjoy the 7.3 was this weekend. Honestly, if you're keen to chat along, head to Patreon, join us, get in the WhatsApp group. It will be a good time. It always is. Pleasure as always, Jimbo, mate. Thank you very much. Talk to you later.
Cheerio.